Hi, welcome to Friday, week 39. Now, got a little bit of a confession this week. I got a little bit carried away, really. So I don't think this week's video is going to be very, very long. So I was sat the other day planning what we were going to do. And I thought, oh, I know what we're going to do. We'll do some stitching. There's a surprise. But I was going away for a few days. And I thought, well, do you know what? I'd like to take something with me so that I could sit and do it. So I made a start, and I was going to film it before we went away, and then life just becomes life, and totally forgot to do that. And then I carried on stitching, and I've just about finished it. So I'll talk everybody through what the plan was. So Denim Blue. I love Denim Blue. I love stitching it. I think this is probably why I thought about this one, because I've got another hole in my jeans, which meant I had to patch it and stitch it. So I thought, oh, denim. I've got loads of this lying around. Let's have a bit of a play with it. So I've got all sorts of different types. I've got fabric that I've bought that looks like denim. I've got bits from old trousers. And then I found this piece of denim that I've got. I don't even know where this came from, but it's got a really nice sort of check in it. And I thought, oh, that's kind of nice. I could use that and use part of that for my flag. So I drew my flag. Knew I was going to stitch. I thought, right, we need something to stitch around. So I got a button. So that was the plan. Keeping it really, really simple, because I think sometimes it's just nice to do something. And I love borrow and shashiko stitching and just that repetitive motion of stitching. I just think it's really, really soothing. And life has been a little bit bonkers. Getting used to my new working routine, and I just wanted something just really simple to do. So I drew around my template like normal, cut it. Well, I didn't cut it out. I left it. So I was going to do it in a hoop, and then I realised that actually it's easier to do it not in a hoop. And then it was a case of stitching your button on, white thread, because I think the white and the blue looks absolutely stunning together, and start stitching. This is where it becomes quite quick, because here is the bit that I've done so far. So when I did my template on it, because it's got this pattern in, I thought, oh, if I put that on there and I've got the cross, and I'll pop the button on the cross, and then I'd like to stitch. I've done it off centre, because you could do it in centre and have your circles going out from it, but I quite like that illusion that sort of in your head, you know, the lines go around, but they're not going all the way around. I also like little bits where there's a bit of a break, where you still see some of that backing fabric. You could fill the whole thing if you wanted, but I think having this break and just letting the plain colour show through, it just sort of adds to it. And it makes it quite striking. And really, all you want then is, if you've got any Shashiko needles, brilliant. They're basically a long needle that it's just easier to do a running stitch, because you can just keep your needle going. You can work out where it needs to be, and then just pull through quite a few threads all in one go, through, not threads, stitches. So you want to get this rhythm going. I love this type of stitching. It's something that everybody can do, because it's basically, it is just a running stitch, but it's so effective. So you could do this if you wanted. You could pop your fabric on a piece of wadding, and it could end up quilting it a little bit. Because I've just got the denim, I thought it's quite a thick fabric anyway, so I'm just going to go for it. So I drew on with my chalk pen, just so that I could see the edge, and then the stitching just comes right up to the very edge of the line. So you just do one, and then you just come back in the other direction, and you just keep on going. And that's basically it. I think the reason that I started it is because I know it takes quite a bit of time to do this. And because it's all about mindfulness and stitching and your well-being, it's quite hard to sit and do it all, do the whole thing, and sit and chat at the same time, even though, as you know, I am very good at chatting and stitching. I just think sometimes it's quite nice. I think that's what I needed this week, is I just needed just a bit of a distraction, just something that wasn't that taxing on the brain. Because once you've done your first couple of lines and you've got your shape going and a knot in it, you can tell I'm not as relaxed as I was when I started doing this. It's just one of those things. Get yourself a cup of tea. Either enjoy the peace and quiet, or pop a podcast on, or something on the telly, or just something. A bit of an escape. I think that's really, really important every now and again. It's just to have something. Just takes you away from the world. I love doing stuff like this. If it's a nice day and you can make yourself a cup of tea, well, I have a cup of coffee because I don't drink tea. I'll go sit in the garden, especially if you've got a right nice day and you can hear the birds twittering and you don't need to worry about any jobs that need doing or anything like that. It's just refocusing your brain, really. That's all it is. Refocus your brain. That's what we're doing. I think my brain needs refocusing. It's getting old. Right, so I'm going to leave another. So I've got 1, 2, and I'll leave 3 gaps. So when you do a gap, sometimes it can just help just to draw yourself on a line, because you want it to run parallel to the bits that you've already done. Otherwise it can end up looking a little bit off skew. But you might decide that you don't want to put a button on. You could put anything on. You don't even have to put anything on if you don't want to. You just fancy, do you know what, I'm just going to draw a shape and I'm just going to stitch around a shape. So you can sort of see I'm building it up. And just keep going till you've filled it all in. You could do it so that all your stitches match up and you've got that really, really regular pattern. I was going to do that, and then because the circle gets bigger, obviously, as you radiate out, it didn't quite match up, and I didn't want my stitches to get bigger. I wanted to keep them all fairly similar sizes, so they're a little bit irregular. But I don't know, I just think it adds to the effect. I love the bit at the bottom. So the bit at the bottom works really well because there's like the first couple of lines actually go all the way around to give you that full circle there. And then everything else is your part circle. So what I'll do with this then is I will take this right into the corner. This is what works nice if you've got a nice long needle. You can do that running stitch like that, 3 or 4 stitches, and then just pull them through. Careful with your tension, which is why sometimes this is quite good if you do it in a hoop. The only difficulty about doing things as a hoop is you can't hold it like this and do that running stitch because you've pulled it tight. So it's really, I suppose, personal preference as to the way you want to work this. But I just think the denim blue, oops, and the white works really well. If these aren't your colours, I will go for something, I want like use something really striking. I think the white thread works beautiful on a dark background. Works really, really, really nice. I don't think we've done any, just looking at all my flags, I don't think we've done anything just white stitching. I know we've done this sort of stitching before, and I know sometimes people will complain and say, oh, it's too simple, or we're not learning anything new, or anything like that. But I don't know, sometimes it's just nice to have a little bit of a break. So if this isn't for you, I'm sorry. But I just wanted to do something that was just relaxing. So I hope you're keeping up to date with everything, and that you're here at week 39 with me. Don't worry if you're not up to date. I think that's one of the beauties about this sort of project, is that you can just dip in and out. So it might be that this week isn't for you. Maybe go pick up another project or something like that. And then if you're having a bad week and you just want to do some stitching, come back to it. And maybe just do a little bit of really, really simple stitching. Okay, we're just about there. This is, I think, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. My intention actually was to demonstrate it like I normally do and then finish it. But I started doing it and I was enjoying it so much, I just kind of carried on. And then realised that I needed to do a video, and I couldn't really do a video if I'd finished it, so I had to make myself put it down, which wasn't very easy. Put it down and leave it, and pick something else up and finish that. There we go. Right in the corner, a tiny little one. Doof. There we go. Oh, look at that. Simple things sometimes are incredibly striking. If you want to make it more complicated, go for it. But this week, I just needed something that was a little bit calmer and a little bit more straightforward. Right then, the trick now is to cut this out just on the outside of the line, because what you don't want to do is what I have done in the past, is where you spend all this time doing something like this only to come and cut it out and realise you've just cut some of your threads. Ooh, that felt a bit chunky. Oh, I don't know what I did then. Ooh. Let's see what happens. I think it might have just been a bit of the pattern in the fabric. Oh, like that. It's kind of nice. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I've got a bit of a fraying going on at the top. Oh, don't mind that. That's okie-dokie. So there we go. Week 39. My cheat week. Sorry about that. But hopefully you'll enjoy it, especially if you need a little bit of a break. Oh, sorry, a break from everything that's going on. And I will see you week 40. Oh my goodness me. That means then we're 12 flags away from the end of the year. How scary is that? Okay. Love and hugs, everybody. Happy stitching. And I'll see you same time, same place next week. Okay. Mwah.